All right, welcome to my channel. All right, let's get one thing straight, and one thing straight. I'm coming right out after the game. I may not post it for until the next day, but a little bit of inebriated. But in any case, let's get one thing straight. The Giants did not win this game. They basically accepted the handout. Yeah, I know what I'm wearing is all that stuff, etc. I understand that. It's like, how could you say that? What Scadaboo did, what Dart did, unbelievable. It's like that shows our future is great for a future. But this is a game that, at least fortunately, the Giants were willing to accept, where the Eagles basically they were giving them the game. Let's be honest. I mean, it's great. Burns had 2 sacks. We had 3 sacks overall, finally, in the second half. But first half, not so much. The aspect is like we fortunate that we got 2 turnovers. Now, the one that Flott got when he intercepted Hurts towards the goal line, basically, practically, we were lucky in that situation. I'll tell you that we got lucky. Flott also, you could tell he was a little showboating a little bit there. If he was running straight out, he probably could have gotten that touchdown. I was freaking out when he got tackled by Barkley. I'm like, Saquon being Saquon, he's got the speed and all that stuff. Now, with the other aspect of how we got the fumble recovery, that we were fortunate about as well too. Let's be honest, we got fortunate because of that extra effort from I forgot his name, Dylan. That effort, if he doesn't do that extra effort, there's no fumble. The other aspect is let's be honest, the defense, decent as it was, you can say, hey, these 2 takeaways and those sacks. No, if Hurts connects to some of those plays, like, let's be honest, that one, I forgot that play basically, but it was wide open. That's a touchdown for them. That's a touchdown for the Eagles. Because Hurts overthrew him, I was like, oh my God, thank God. But looking at it, we don't win that game. We don't win that game if Hurts, plays to his capabilities. And if, if he does, I guess a little bit of game management as well too. Let's be honest. If there was a little bit better game management, he goes out of bounds. He slides instead of does whatever. And it's possible that the Eagles win that game. They most likely win that game because right now, I as a Giant fan, I'm happy that we won. But at the same time, it's the way that we won. We're like, oh yeah, we manhandled them. We didn't manhandle them. I think it's more so to the point where their offense, or the Eagles' offense, was not in sync with each other. There's all this turmoil that's going on since last week after their last loss. That the fact of the matter is the Eagles have issues. That's it. Let's be honest. They have issues. The Giants were able to capitalize on it. Thing is let's look back again. When the Chiefs were pretty much handing the game to the Giants, they screwed up on themselves. The defense pretty much kind of gave up towards the end of it because the offense was not doing it, and that's right. Wilson is the third thing that hits me most is when the way Dart was running, I was freaking the hell out. I was like, no, because this is a man that it's for our future, and he's going to get injured. He's not like an Eli Manning. I'm hoping he's like an Eli Manning where he becomes durable, but the same time is if you look closely, this is a dude that's going to get injured very soon. The way he runs, he doesn't take those slides that he normally should. He's going right at these people. But in any case, when he went for that concussion protocol, Russell Wilson should not be your number 2. He should not be the QB2. It should be Winston. You should run in Jameis Winston. We've seen what Russell Wilson has done. He's had this opportunity. He's pretty much played himself out of the Hall of Fame practically. I mean, granted, he's done whatever, but he's pretty much played himself out of it. Because we're saying now that it was mostly Seattle's defense that won those Super Bowls. He just happened to game manage, just like what Trent Dilfer did with for the 2000 Ravens, basically. You can tell Trent Dilfer is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, but at least he knew what a game manage. And that's what Russell Wilson is. It looks like he's a game manager because you're seeing right now, he sucks. And the Giants should have had Jameis Winston in there. He should be in number 2, not Russell Wilson. If Shane is smart, he trades Wilson for a couple of draft picks. If he can get a couple of draft picks out of it, you trade him. But I'll say this. This game did not save Shane or Dable. It did not save them. I mean, we got a second win. Like I said, if they can get to 8, if Dable can get 8 wins out of this Giants team, if the Giants can finish with 8 wins this year, it saves Dable a little bit. But if you look closely at that fourth quarter, the Giants were up by like 20 points practically. 17 points. Basically, 17 points. I was going to say 3 scoring opportunities, basically. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. But if you look closely, when they had a shot of John Mara, the dude was not happy. The dude was not happy. We're up, but he was not happy. And you looked at Shane after they showed Shane afterwards. He was not happy. He was like kind of like a little bit worried. Something happened up there. But I have a feeling Mara's realizing, like, the Giants got lucky in this game. We should have, we got really lucky. I mean, to be honest with you, look back at it. If we had taken that game from the Chiefs, if we had beaten the Cowboys the way we were supposed to have beaten them, basically, because their defense sucked, the Giants should have won that game. And then, of course, let's be honest, the New Orleans game, that should have been a game that we should have won. We should have won that game. The Giants should be 5-1 right now. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, of course. At least maybe 4-2. But reality is that's not the case. So in any situation, the thing that comes down to is this: is like, I don't think Dable and Shane are going to be around at the end of the season, unless somehow the Giants get to 8 wins. I don't see them getting getting past the season. You might. I think Dable is. I don't know if he's the right head coach right now, but I think as an offensive coordinator, he'd make sense. But reality is like, if he wants to take that away, I think he needs to, if you can bring in a Tom Brady type of person, yeah. But reality is like, no, this is a situation where it shows the future is bright for the Giants. Everyone's like, hey, the Giants did you see their front line? I don't know what everyone else was looking, but I was saying where their line was not putting as much pressure onto Jalen Hurts as they should have. Philly's O-line shows that our defense is not top notch. We're not we're not at the top 3 yet. We're not there yet. I think it's more of a case of like Carter and Burge is getting there. He's showing what he is. Carter, I think, can learn from him, and like those two together. And Sexy Dexy can help us out in that situation. Dexter Lawrence. Tibbs, I don't know about it. I mean, he's got that capability, but reality is like, if they can like get one more player, and of course if they have a good secondary, a really good secondary, I think we become a dominant force. We become a dominant force next year. I think the other factor is we need a new defensive coordinator, because right now, this defensive coordinator, I don't think it's working out. If I'm the Giants, I bring in Aaron Pierce. I bring in Antonio Pierce. Pierce is the man. I think you saw what he did with the Raiders for that short period of time. I think if you bring him on board, he can help that defense. If worst case, bring him back as a linebackers coach at least. Bring him in as a linebackers coach, and let him build himself up as a defensive coordinator. He doesn't have the brilliant mind of like a Belichick. That's the one thing, is you're not going to find another Belichick unless you got a guy that basically grew up with football year in, year out, with a father figure as the mentor type of thing. But reality is this is a game where we got lucky. We're gonna see how they play against Denver next week. If they do well, great. I mean, honestly, it's like we got lucky in that situation. It's the following week after that when we play against the Eagles again. I'm gonna kind of curious to see how that works out, because honestly, I look for the Eagles to really go at the Giants and like really dominate the Giants in that week. And then, of course, the 49ers. That's where I think our true test comes in. I think our true litmus test, and specifically for Dable, is how they play against the 49ers. Why do you say the 49ers and not the Eagles? Because the Eagles are going through a disarray right now. I see the fall. We not next week, but the week after when they play them again. Either the Eagles go all out on the Giants, or they still have this disarray and issue, and things are a lot of turmoil in the office, a lot of distractions in the locker room. That maybe that's well with the 49ers. I think it's more so to the point of like it shows how the defense really works out because the way the 49ers offense is set up, it's like you could interchange between quarterbacks at that point. So it's that situation. If the Giants defense can contain the 49ers, this current Giants defense, we know that the defensive coordinator should be good at that. Probably should stay. It's also at the same time, it also determines how well Dart and Scatterbuck can go against the 49ers D. If we can score over 20 points, like I said, if we could score over 20 points and hold the 49ers to under 20 points, that would be a really good litmus test to show us that like this is on the Giants team. The Giants team is on an upswing. Dable probably should stay maybe at that point, and as well as the defensive coordinators. But if none of that happens, look for Dable to be gone at the end of the season. Same thing with Shane as well too. Shane, there's no way he's going to stick around if like the way things are at this point. But like I said, I'll say this again. This is just, of course, watching the game. I mean, I might would have to wait another day to come back with a better analysis. But like if you saw the game the way I saw the game, this is the Eagles pretty much handing it to the Giants, and the Giants were finally willing to take it. The Giants were willing to accept it. I mean, they were willing to accept that gift. They were willing to accept that gift. Whereas the Chiefs last time, they were giving the Giants. They were giving to the Giants. The Giants said, no, we don't want the gift. We're good. We'll try it on our own. This situation, the Eagles like, we're giving to you. And the Giants are like, yes, please, we'll take it. So, I know they're going to say, like, dude, what the hell? What I'm wearing and everything. But, yes, I want to be happy. I was happy. I was definitely happy. But, again, I want that dominance as a Giant, from the Giants of basically from the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, you could say, even like, the 2007s, when we had Strahan and such. Even in the 2011 season, everyone's like, oh, it was our boy Eli, but in reality it's like it was a defense. Let's be honest, it was a defense. So long as he minimized those turnovers, then we beat him. Any case, like I said, the future does look bright for us, specifically with Dart. If he takes care of himself, that's the concern. If you saw what I saw, this is a dude that was like going head first, head dives. I'm like, oh, I was freaking out. I was like, dude, you're gonna injure yourself. He's not an Eli Manning where like you're durable. I'm hoping is going to Ole Miss that they made created durable quarterbacks. If that's the case, hey, maybe we start drafting from Ole Miss. But in any case, let me know your thoughts. It'll be good to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I do read them all. I do respond to them when they warrant a response. If you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Depending on the likes of what my content is, I'll focus on that. I'm hoping this works out well. If you didn't like this video, you're welcome to dislike it as well too, quite honestly. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.